Alright, it's time to sync up the video. Okay, I already peaked the audio. That's peachy. Hey, kids. Gattlemage here. And tonight, I wanted to issue a PSA to Opera GX on behalf of me and all of those other poor, unfortunate souls who use YouTube but don't have an ad blocker. We may be an endangered species, but we're out there. And so this video will serve as a formal complaint to Opera GX and its advertisement agency. Shut the fuck up. Okay? This gimmick you're doing right now is... No, do something different. Because this sucks. This is terrible. Now I've hated the corporations using memes and trying to be trendy and all that stuff since back when it was kind of a novel idea, you know. You got fast food Twitter accounts fighting with each other, roasting people, you know. I hated it. Thought it was the most pandering garbage ever. But, you know, I still kind of had to begrudgingly admit that, you know, at least at the time, it was sort of a unique idea, you know. They were trying something different, you know. Give them a break. Nowadays, however, it's become more socially acceptable to think that these pandering corporations are terrible. And I'm very jazzed about that. Because that means now I can make this video talking about these terrible Opera GX commercials and face minimal backlash. Yeah! Of course, the fact that nobody watches my videos also helps me avoid backlash, but you know, regardless, you know, I'm just trying to look on the positive side. Because, I mean, just look at these things. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this one with Charlie, Moist Critical. This one's from about a month or so back, so I feel like most people have seen it at this point. And, yeah, it sucks. This is terrible. And, yeah, I get that, you know, that was probably the point. They wanted it to look terrible. They wanted it to look cheap. But, you know, it still looks terrible and looks cheap, so we got to talk about that. You've all seen it. It's video of Moist Critical. He's on this shitty green screen with a stupid little costume on, doing a stupid voice, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm going fishing for internet browsers. Oh, this one's a big one. Oh, Google Chrome. No, this collects your data. That's not a keeper at all. That's not gonna make a good meal for me, the fisherman." And he goes fishing again. He's like, "Oh, Opera GX." You know, he says he gets to Opera GX eventually. You don't know that because you skipped the ad, but he goes, "Oh, Opera GX. Oh, this is a good browser. Now, I would mount this on my wall. This is a keeper. You know, normally I'm catch and release, but oh, this is incredible. I love Opera GX and this and that and this and that." And, you know, I get where they were coming from with this one, because I'm sure they were very jazzed that they had a YouTuber as beloved as Moist Critical who had brand loyalty to them. So you know, they must have been psyched to do a commercial with him. You know, we got to do a commercial with Moist Critical where he's explicitly endorsing Opera GX and telling people how great it is, because people like him and they're going to want to get our browser because they like Critical, and Critical tells them to do it, they'll want to do it. You know, so that's why they did a little sketch comedy video. Because that's why everybody loves Moist Critical, right? Is because of his sketch comedy. You know, everybody's flocking to the Penguin Zero channel to watch Critical, you know, put on all of his crazy costumes and play all his crazy characters, all, you know, like Charlie Sings. Oh, man, yeah. Oh, it's so funny, yeah. Everybody loves Critical sketch comedy, right? That's why he's popular. And then you got this, well, as far as I know, the newest example of this, where it's sort of a spoof of those old YouTube tutorial videos that people made in Windows Movie Maker. So it's got like the blue background and the white text that fades in and says, you know, "Why is Opera GX good?" And then it's like this, you know, grainy screen recording where someone's explaining why Opera GX is good by typing on the Notepad app. You know, like those old YouTube videos. Like, this is goddamn Peternity or something. You know, it's just so pandering. It lacks any sort of style or personality. It's just... But it's trying to emulate having style or having a personality. And I think that's just what really bothers me about corporate meme trend advertising to millennials in general. Is that it's trying to cater to an audience that it doesn't understand, using tactics that it also doesn't understand. It's embarrassing. It's the natural progression of more and more corporations jumping on this bandwagon to try to, say like, hey, I'm just like you guys, try to, how do you do, fellow kids, everybody? Give people the impression, give some sort of personality to this faceless corporation. And so, that's why, and we saw the same thing with the Twitter fast food company memes, You started off with Wendy's and Burger King and stuff like that. And then before long, you got Sunny D saying, I can't take this anymore. You got Moon Pie pretending that people care about their existence or ever liked their food. You got Corn Nuts with its less than 1,000 followers, trying to do hashtags to make people care about Corn Nuts' existence. This sort of pandering doesn't have longevity. And I don't think corporations realize that it doesn't. You can't just throw these things into your commercial and expect it to catch on. Maybe at some point you could, earlier in the trend's lifespan, but at the end of the day, it's still just that. It's a trend. You gotta do more than just have a YouTuber people like. You gotta do more than emulate a style that people remember and find funny when you parody it. Because when you just do it without really understanding what makes it work, it becomes just plainly obvious that you don't know what you're doing, and your commercial is infinitely less effective. Opera GX doesn't understand why people like Critical. Opera GX does not watch Moist Critical. Let's make that clear. They just saw that, here's a popular guy and he likes our product. He's mentioned it before. So let's do a commercial with him. It's just put two and two together. So they didn't play into his strengths at all. They don't know what makes Critical funny or makes him appealing. Let's just put him in a silly costume, People would like that, right? I hope, what people can take away from this video is just think about how you're being advertised to. Also, you just use DuckDuckGo or something like a normal person.